Recipes 1000 and I'm here for a recipe that has been literal months in the making. Now you might be wondering how it takes months to prepare for making a single recipe. Well, when you're drying your own peppers, growing your own peppers, growing your own onions, and making your own tomato paste, yeah, it kind of takes a lot. I legitimately started growing my poblano pepper plants in February, and the only reason I wanted them was for this recipe. So, today I am making Sonic's signature chili from the newest cookbook. Yeah, Sonic has a cookbook now, and I've heard this chili is good. I'm a Sonic fan who likes cooking. What do you expect me to do? I don't actually own the cookbook, but people share the recipe online. I want to try it. So anyways, this recipe is a lot. Anyways, the first thing I want us to do is quarter the onion. It just says 1 onion. I'm assuming a large onion. It doesn't really specify, so this is kind of a small or medium-ish one. So I'm just gonna do 2. And we're gonna put it on a sheet tray with a jalapeno, a poblano. Mine's kind of small, so I grabbed 2. This one's partly ripened. It has a bad spot I have to cut out. Actually, you know what? Maybe the whole thing is actually bad. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go pick another one. These are the perks of essentially having a grocery store in your backyard. By the way, peppers are like the one thing I'm proud of. Look at them. Look how tall these poblanos are. These are almost as tall as me. Oh god, that's sad. All right, the pepper escapade is over. Those are the poblanos. There was only supposed to be 1, but just poblanos are big. They're all supposed to add 1 red bell pepper. And again, mine are a little bit small. On top of that, these have a much thinner flesh than your typical bell pepper. I like these, they're really good. They're kind of small. All my peppers are small, except my jalapenos. And I'm supposed to add a yellow bell pepper. And this is where things run into problems because I picked one the other day, but for some reason they're just like rotting before they even fully ripen. And then I figured this morning I'd go out there and pick another one because I thought I had like 1 more that was ready. But something else kind of got to it first. That's so unfair. That is so unfair. So this is like the ripest yellow bell that I have. Aside from this one, this is an Italian roasting pepper. It's got a bad spot. We're gonna ignore that because if I don't use that, my other options for yellow peppers are, So yeah, we're going with these. I mean, is there really that much of a difference between like a yellow and a red pepper? I don't think so. I think people just like colors and they don't want to admit it. You are supposed to leave these whole, but you know, exception for cutting out bad spots. All right, whole peppers on the tray. You know, hold on. We don't need this much stem. I just cleaned the floors. Now we're supposed to brush this with olive oil and season with salt and pepper. Alright. I've never actually made chili before. I like chili, okay, but it's not like my favorite thing. I mostly like it on hot dogs. So doing all this stuff is probably like normal for making chili and I'm just unaware of it. My dad likes chili though. I need to make a video talking about my garden, but I keep saying I'll do that once I get it cleaned up. And every time I start to get like part of it cleaned up, the rest just goes back to hell. So it's like, it's a never-ending cycle. Man, this video takes like 4 months to get out like my last cooking video did. This is gonna be so dated. All right, everything brushed down with olive oil. It's salt and pepper to taste. And guess what I got? A good pepper grinder. Oh, look at the pepper come out of this thing. It's kind of going everywhere though, except on the vegetables. I don't know, maybe it's just the onions you season. Do you skin these peppers? Yeah. You skin these peppers. Why am I seasoning the skins? The pepper's like not gonna penetrate the skin. Anyways, it also says to use some kosher salt, so hopefully that's good. And then this goes in a 450-degree oven for 25 minutes. It's only been like 10 minutes, but can you hear that sizzle? It is very fragrant. Now we flip it over, add 6 cloves of garlic, and bake for another 15 minutes. Now the peppers have softened and started to blacken. Wrap it in some foil to allow it to steam. Now it's cool enough to handle. Gonna remove the stems, the skins, and the seeds. Are the skins supposed to come off easy? Because like, they're not. So you know, poblanos actually peel incredibly easily. I'm thinking I might have just made a mistake using a roasting pepper. It's a sweet yellow pepper. A sweet yellow pepper is a sweet yellow pepper and you can't tell me otherwise. I can't get the skin off very well. It's so stuck. Is the skin like that that big of a deal. I'm assuming you just remove like black and char, and this, it doesn't have like, I removed the charred bits, okay? So I think like this is probably fine. Anyways, now it says to dice this up and just set aside. I don't know how the heck you dice this when it's like water. You know what? So this is how you dice it. I want to mention that this has already been like 2 hours. This is a recipe. We're still not done with peppers, but thankfully the next part of this recipe seems to be quicker. So we are going to be toasting our dried chilies. So we have 1 mulatto pepper, which is just a dried ripened poblano. And then it calls for 2 pasilla peppers? I don't know how else you say that. But either way, a common substitute is ancho, which is dried poblanos. I have poblanos, so I just dried them. 3 poblanos. Just me uses a lot of poblanos. Anyway, it's just supposed to toast this over like medium-high heat on both sides until it gets fragrant. This is in a dry pan. You know, it's funny, even though this is like a dry heat, they're almost like instantly softening. These were like crack hard when I dehydrated them. I'm such an idiot. I missed the stemmed and seeded part. They're hot now. I thought it'd be in the instructions. I think all the seeds just fall out. No, they don't. Now these have actually been stemmed and seeded and toasted. Gonna put them in a saucepan, cover with water, and then back on the stove and bring to a simmer. Once it is simmering, you gotta take it off the heat and cover it, and then just let it sit for another 10 minutes. This recipe has a lot of weight. You could probably do this while the peppers are roasting. Now these have seeped. I spent 3 days dehydrating these things just to rehydrate them. But now these dehydrated and then, ooh, steamy, rehydrated peppers go into a blender. Oh, look at that, I did miss some seeds. I guess it doesn't matter, it comes out in the water. And we're going to blend it up with 6 ounces of tomato paste. Oh God, I made this really thick, didn't I? I spent 8 hours on this yesterday. Please be proud of how thick it came out. That is a stiff peak tomato paste. And then we're also gonna add half of our diced peppers. This is 28 ounces. They probably mean for you to use canned, but I had fresh, so just put roughly half of them in there. And now we just blend this together until smooth. Oh, this is gonna take some work. I might have made the paste a little too thick. Thick. I want to iterate that it has now been like 3 hours since I started making this chili, and we're just now at this point. But finally, turn on the burner and start browning 2 pounds of ground beef. Does it say what kind of beef? No. 70-30, 80-20, 90-10? Doesn't say. Just beef. To be fair, I don't exactly know what this one is either. So we're kind of on the same page. It's the same thing. Oh, I guess this is like a little food hack I learned. When cooking with ground meat and you want to help break it up, use a potato masher. Now, it doesn't say to drain this, but you know, it also doesn't tell you how fatty your beef should be, so I'm going to take the liberty and drain off most of the fat. I'll leave a little bit. And after the step I completely added, it is time to add the spices, which for once, I actually pre-measured. So this is 2 teaspoons kosher salt, 1 teaspoon ground black pepper, 2 tablespoons ground cumin, 2 tablespoons chili powder, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 tablespoon brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon ground coffee. We don't really drink coffee or keep it in the house, really, so all I have is this. Because my dad sometimes likes it. I threw out one of these that expired like 2 years ago. So, I don't really know how much we use coffee. Anyways, I don't think I've ever put like coffee or anything in a dish itself, so hopefully this is good. And I could mix this in with the dry, but 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I think it might also be worth mentioning, I don't like coffee. I don't like the smell of it. I don't even understand how people drink this stuff. And once the spices are mixed in, it's time to put in our roasted vegetables. Honestly, the aroma coming off this right now is really confusing because I smell both cinnamon and coffee, and it's just weird. It's so weird. I'm trusting you, Sonic. Don't let me down. And also, I need a 15-ounce can of kidney beans. It specifies for dark red. I bought the wrong beans. It's fine. Kidney beans are kidney beans. I also bought low sodium beans for this because I just like to be able to control the salt levels, and canned goods have a lot of salt. So, I spent a lot of time talking. We also add the rest of the diced tomatoes and the blended pepper mixture. Oh god, that's not coming out. Oh no! God, this is going to be so thick. I don't even think I can mix it one-handed. Oh god. I didn't realize I wasn't recording, but I add a little bit of the pepper boiling water. Technically they say to do that during the blending process if you really need to, but they want to be a thick paste, and like, I know the tomatoes are going to leach some moisture as they cook, and you know, the beans, they want them rinsed, which means like through a strainer, so like not extra water. And the pepper mixture is supposed to be a thick paste. It's like, where's the moisture supposed to come from? I wouldn't have added a little splash of water if it's just gotta cook for like 20-30 minutes. They want this to cook for 4 hours! I'm putting a lot of trust in you, Sonic. But anyways, that is all the ingredients except 2 bay leaves. And now this is simmering. Just turn the heat to low, cover it up, and let it go for 4 hours! There's no way you can boil something with like no water for 4 hours. What? I don't. 1 hour in, and this is how it's looking. Just 3 more to go. And finally, after 4 hours, you have this. You also didn't really like lose much water. Well, I mean, it did have a lid on while it was simmering, but still, this is a pretty nice consistency. Now, I could just try this plain, or I could try it Sonic style. Which do you think I'm gonna do? Get a good heaping of this chili on here. By the way, you're not crazy. A bunch of this like didn't just like evaporate. My dad had like 2 helpings of it, so I guess he likes it. I have no idea where he puts it. He's such a little man. Anyways, got some cheese to top it off with. Probably be good with some diced onion, maybe even some sliced jalapeno, depending on how hot this is, but I wanna try it once, just, you know, on its own. And yes, I'm going to eat a hot dog with a fork. I don't like getting my hands dirty. Don't make fun of me! I mean, like, especially chili dogs, they're so messy. I mean, honestly, I don't taste much of the chili. I get a little bit of that back of the throat heat, but it's not much, honestly. You know, I hate to say this, I think 4 hours is too long to cook. I tasted after it'd been simmering for like an hour a little bit, and it was a lot more flavorful. There was more of the tomato flavor and stuff. Now it's just kind of like spicy meat. You don't get like the individual notes of the cumin and stuff. Well, ooh, something cooks for a long period of time. It's just kind of like dried out the meat too, a little bit. So as a Sonic fan, I should have known better than to trust Sonic. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me just get a spoonful of just this straight from the pot. Yeah, I think it was better before. It was just like super cooked. So yeah, I wouldn't simmer this for more than like an hour and a half. Like maybe that's how long it should be, not 4 hours. Like if you're doing like a braise on a big like solid piece of meat, fine. But ground meat, it's already small pieces. And you cook it longer, just gonna dry it out. Just leave it, you know. That said, it was not bad, and I think I would maybe make this again. It was a lot of work. It was so much work. Anyways, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one later.